This is Change Radio News. Today is Tuesday, the 2nd of November, 2021. The news read by Pamela Nkomo. Here are the stories making the headlines. Zimbabweans managed to stop Mnangawa attending a planned gala in Glasgow. Zimbabweans in the UK enter second day of protest against Mnangawa's presence. 16 and 17-year-olds to start getting vaccinated for COVID-19. And now for the stories in detail. A group of activists in diaspora led by Silvanus Mujowa have so far managed to stop Mr. Emerson Mnangagwa from attending a ZANU-PF gala to honor him at a local hall in Glasgow, Scotland. Silvanus said, due to Mnangagwa's travel restrictions, he is only allowed to attend the climate change conference buildings and his hotel and not move around the UK. He added that if Mnangagwa was to attend the gala, the Scottish police will arrest him. Let's listen to him explain further.
This morning, we started advocating, doing phone calls, emails to this particular venue, Church Hall. It's a charity, and they should be not be hosting such kind of events like the ZANU-PF event. What we realized is that they didn't know that they were hosting a ZANU-PF event. It was booked as a business event, as not as a ZANU-PF party event. So when we came here this afternoon around 4:30, we managed to speak to the CEO of this particular venue. And he said Zimbabweans have been calling, have been emailing, flooding their email boxes and phone calls, saying their displeasure against the ZANU-PF event. So what they did is they called the police, and then the police advised them that they are aware that there will be a demonstration here tomorrow that we applied for as Zimbabweans to say we want to demonstrate against this event. But now the police advised the CEO that the president of Zimbabwe, Emerson Mnangagwa, is not allowed to attend any other event in the UK except the climate conference and back to his hotel. That's it. So he is not going to be coming here tomorrow. But just in case he decides to come, we are going to be here. Tomorrow at 5 o'clock, we are going to be here. The event is scheduled to start at 6. And the police know that we are actually going to be here. And we are not going to be opening the way for Mnangagwa to be allowed to come in. So, as it stands at the moment, Mnangagwa is not going to be attending the gala that they bought all those beers and everything, and they are not going to be drinking those beers in the streets. Maybe they can go and sit in the park and have their beers, but they can't have those beers inside the trade hall with Mnangagwa. That's not going to be happening. Thank you.
Meanwhile, today is the second day of the demonstration in Glasgow, Scotland, where Zimbabweans are protesting against Mr. Mnangagwa's presence in the UK and against human rights abuses and corruption by his regime in Zimbabwe. Let's get more details of how the day went.
Good afternoon, listeners. I'm Edward Raposo, reporting from Glasgow COP26 convention, where world leaders are meeting to pave way for the climate change. We are the Zimbabweans, disgruntled MDC, protesting against the evil regime government of Zimbabwe. Emerson Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF, we are demanding restore human rights and dignity. We are demanding stop of corruption. We are demanding stop of activist arrest. We are demanding respect of the law. This afternoon we are continuing. This is our day number two. The protests. We want political prisoners in respect of Aruzivishe. We are calling for the government of ZANU-PF to do that for us. Today we are going to be protesting again in the evening, where these guys are going to have their gala, the much publicized gala for ZANU-PF. We have seen them buying some booze, preparing for the gala. We'll be there again protesting there. Today we are graced by our Chief Nduna from Tabazi Nduna. He's among us here. We thank all guys, all the walks of life coming up here. Thank you so much. We'll come back to you and give you more updates of what's happening here. Thank you.
The Health Ministry has approved Sinovac COVID-19 vaccine to be used for 16 and 17-year-olds after a recommendation from specialist pediatricians. Government also challenged all learning institutions to roll out vaccination campaigns targeting this age group with immediate effect. News just in. MDC Alliance Deputy Organizing Secretary for Manicaland, Itai Masaka, has been arrested by ZRP in Mutare. Masaka is also a former youth chair for Manicaland province. His arrest follows on Masaka's sterling work during the recent tour of Manicaland by President Nelson Chamisa. The police's preferred charges are still hazy, but this is another clear case of persecution by prosecution by the regime. Zimbabwean-born and Scotland Member of Parliament, Honourable Maggie Chapman, has made it clear that she does not support Mr. Mnangagwa and his party after she was pictured wearing a scarf symbolic of the Mnangagwa regime. Posting on social media, Chapman said some Zimbabweans approached her and asked her to take photos with her, adding that she deplores the Mnangagwa regime. Zambia's Lafarge Cement plc has reduced its cement prices by 10% following the recent appreciation of the kwacha against major currencies, as well as the positive outlook of national economic growth under the leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema. The United States Embassy in Harare has lamented the continuous violent attacks of MDC Alliance members by ZANU-PF as the country heads towards 2023 general elections. The United States urged political parties to exercise democracy, saying votes are won by ideas, not intimidation. The embassy further urged all political parties to stop being violent. Mpilo Hospital in Bulawayo is set to be upgraded after a delegation from the Japanese International Cooperation Agency visited the hospital to assess its conditions with a view of possible extension and modification. The 63-year-old hospital was built to cater for a population of 250,000 people, but is now serving 2 million patients. Welcoming the move by the Japanese, the hospital's acting chief executive officer, Professor Solwayo Ngwenya, said the upgrade will make the institution provide quality health care for Matabeleland. Author and former Zipra fighter Vincent Hilary Ndlovu has said affected victims of Gukurahundi genocide from Midlands and Matabeleland province are finding it difficult to trust government with any developmental projects as they are still traumatized. Ndlovu said failure by government to solve Gukurahundi issue has led to the victims not willing to be part of government's projects, thus resulting in them lagging behind in terms of development. He said these remarks during the Center for Innovation and Technology online public lecture themed The Dissident's Story. Former MDC Alliance Masvingo Central MP Jefferson Chitando has said the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission, NPRC, should be disbanded as it is failing to play its role of promoting peace following the recent attacks on the party by ZANU-PF thugs. Chitando told Change Radio that NPRC has not done anything about the cases of violence, as it is supposed to be taking appropriate measures to prevent it. He further said the commission is being paid by taxpayers for nothing and called on Parliament to fire it. We at Change Radio encourage citizens to become registered voters for the upcoming 2023 elections. To find out where your nearest voter registration center is, please call the toll-free number 080-802-19. The number again, 080-802-19. The director of the Center for Natural Resource Governance, Farai Maguwu, has said for the past 6 years, the ZANU-PF government has been ignoring the plight of Hwange children who were permanently disabled due to underground coal fires. Maguwu said Mnangawa must compensate these children for the difficulties they are going through as he attends the 2021 United Nations Climate Change Conference in Scotland. Let's hear what he had to say.
Dambudziko riri kuitika kuHwange ndere moto wemarachka unofamba nepasi. Moto uyu unokwanisa kubvira kwemakore akawanda zvikuru ende unokwanisa kufamba makilomita akawanda uri pasi ipapo. Saka zviri kuitika ndezvekuti vana vari kuti vachitamba kana kutamba bhora pasi pari kungovhurika, mwana wozviona moto unopfuta kwazvo wepasi. Izvi zviri kuitika munhu asingatarisiri. Saka vana vari kukuwara zvakanyanya. They will be in shock yekusanzwisisa kuti chii chiri kuitika. Vari kuda kuedza kuti vabude mumoto imomo. Sometimes paanenge achida kuedza kuti abude anenge achitodzika fedha. Saka tine vana vatatu vatiri kuziva, vaviri vakakuwara vanga vachitamba bhora at different times. Ivhu kwakungovhurika, mwana kwakutozviona muchoto. Mumwe wacho anga achifudza, anga ari mumunda namai vake, kwakutumwa kunzi mhanye munodzinga mombe dziri mumunda. Paari kumhanya kunodzinga mombe, ivhu kwakungovhurika, mwana akazviona muchoto chemoto. Akazobatsirwa nevekoleri vanga vari kupfuura havo vashandi. Saka vana ava vakatoremara ende panoda kuti vapiwe compensation, vapiwewo mari inovabatsira kuti one, havana kurapwa zvakanaka, chechipiri mikana yavo muupenyu yapfupikiswa nekuda kwehurema hwakaunzwa nemoto iwoyo. Saka vanofanira kuti vapiwe compensation inobva kuhurumende, nekuti marachka aya Colliery ikambani yehurumende uye marachka aya ari kushandira nyika yese. Saka hurumende inofanira kuti ivakombenzete vana ivavo.
Bulawayo's High Court has granted an application by Open Society Initiative for Southern Africa Director Siposami Malunga and his partners to evict Dumisani Madzivanyati from their Esidakeni farm pending finalization of an appeal against their court challenge of official acquisition. Former Zimbabwe Congress of Trade Unions President Peter Mutasa has said there is a serious political crisis in the country because ZANU-PF regards all political contests as do-or-die events. Mutasa's remarks come after ZANU-PF celebrated on social media for his defeat by his deputy, Florence Taruvinga, with fears that she was sponsored by ZANU-PF with the hope of neutralizing the critical umbrella body of Zimbabwe's trade unions. However, Mutasa said there is nothing embarrassing in not winning an election, and also added that the organization will continue to play its role on resisting capture by Mnangagwa's regime. News from our continent. Southern Africa Director with the Africa Division at Human Rights Watch, Dewa Mavinga, has called on Eswatini government to punish the security forces who killed and abused protesters since June 2021. This comes after Eswatini's Human Rights Commission revealed that 46 people were shot dead by security forces while hundreds of other protesters had bullet injuries. Mavinga said Eswatini's government should immediately investigate all the killings and any other human rights violations resulting from excessive use of force. COVID-19 news and updates. Last night, the Health Ministry said Zimbabwe had recorded 30 new cases of COVID-19. Sadly, one person died from the virus-related complications. At Change Radio, we continue to urge citizens to wear masks, to sanitize, to practice social distancing, and to get vaccinated. And finally, in sports, the Zimbabwe women's netball team, the Gems, yesterday lost to Malawi 56-38 in their opening match at the Pent Series tournament being held in Namibia. Last night, the English Premier Wolves beat Everton 2-1. To end the bulletin, here are the headlines once again. Zimbabweans managed to stop Mnangagwa attending a planned gala in Glasgow. Zimbabweans in the UK enter second day of protest against Mnangagwa's presence. 16 and 17-year-olds to start getting vaccinated for COVID-19.